Well, one of the things I learned, and I continue to learn from dealing with international players, international companies, especially those from Europe, is they don't have some of the hang-ups companies have here, cultural hang-ups that they have here with, well, your last name's not this, or you don't look like this, or you don't go to church here. They're more, can you get the job done or can't you? So by their very nature, they don't necessarily, I find, look for diversity like we might in the United States because of our history, but it ends up happening because they just want the best. Right. They just want you. So we had, on that bridge, we had Swedish guys. I remember a guy, you know, to us it was cold, and he would go out over at the pool at the Martin Luther King facility over there on near America Street, and he would swim. And he was like, but it's cold, what are you swimming for? And he'd be in his bikini shorts, and he's Swedish. This was nothing to him. And just that culture of them, and then we had guys from Argentina who you know, someone may think, well, because someone speaks Spanish, they're all the same. No, they're all not the same. They're completely all different types of cultures, but they had their unique way of looking at things. Then you had people from China who had worked in bridges out there. But they all had to work together, and the common language was the metric system, was the math. Right. And I found that just to be very unique from those individuals, and a number of them, I believe, have actually stayed in Charleston. I was at Garrett Academy talking to the first of a number of meetings business community is going to be having with Garrett Academy about what can we do as a business community to help train their students be ready to work for us. Right. Well, I was there, little old me, our construction company, we have 31 people now, we were there. Well, guess who else was there? Boeing was sitting right next to me. Right. The commonality was recognizing that we have a problem. We need to make sure these children are coming out when they come out as adults, that they're developed and have the tools they need that they can work for us. Because I require a certain type of employee with a certain type of skills, and I need to identify that person when they're probably, I would say 17 or 18 years old, because there's a number of things they need to do for when they get out of school to be ready for me. And whether it's Boeing, whether it's any other technical company, whether it's Freeland Construction, whether it's a large construction company like Skanska, they need a certain set of skills if they're going to be somewhere. So we need to certainly work on that. We need to work on our tax base. I'm a person who doesn't believe in raising taxes. I believe in broadening the tax base. We need to get more people paying taxes. How do we get more people paying taxes to broaden the tax base? We need to get more people working in jobs that pay good. They pay good so they can pay taxes. Right. Particularly infrastructure. That's another liability we have that we're addressing. Our infrastructure. I think I heard a stat over the next 20 or 30 years, between 20 and $30 billion that need to be spent for infrastructure here. The Ravenel Bridge, as big as that was, including the demolition, was about less than $1 billion of total effort. Right. So, I mean, our infrastructure, and when I say infrastructure, mass transit, people getting around, affordable. I mean, I consider Charleston a very affordable place when I compare it to where I came from over 10 years ago, but I've heard Charleston's now my involvement with the chamber, I've learned Charleston's becoming a place where you have to drive to qualify. We've got to have it where we're keeping up with middle class homes, and it's not a big class distinction, if you will, so that we get enough middle class here and have communities in which people can live and afford and be close to town, and not have it be like up north or California where you live 60 miles away or 100 miles away from where you work. We have to nip that in the bud, and I think it seems like we might be potentially going that way, but we have to stop that. And the good news is, on all those liabilities, there are organizations such as yourselves, such as the Chamber of Commerce, who is looking at dealing with those things right now. Envision South Carolina, world class, globally connected.